What's up, everyone, and welcome to Let's Have Cocktails. Woo!
See?
Okay, hello, everyone. So, how's everybody doing?
Great.
Gucci. Okay.
Gucci.
Well, today, our topic of discussion is judgment within our own community, with our own people.
Right.
Preach, sister.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff to talk to, but as usual, before we dive in, we're going to get our recipe of the day.
All right, and so, guys, you know, we love our margaritas, so we have made another one, but differently. So, y'all got to try this one. It's for a crowd of people because it makes a full picture. We have 12 ounce of the limeade concentrate that you buy frozen from anywhere. 12 ounces of cold water, which I was like, what? Water in my liquor now? But you need it. 12 ounces of tequila, whatever kind you like. We do the Humidor. 6 ounces of Grand Marnier, and then 1 Corona. Pop it into a glass. Oh, it's so good.
And I'll
It's
drink to
very
that
good.
right
It's
now.
very good. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Roxy. And today we also have a special guest. It is our friend, my boo,
Hey.
Eric. What's
Eric.
up?
What's going on?
You sound so sexy. But he's not available, man.
No, I'm taking it.
So he's going to join the discussion today. And so we're going to go ahead and just dive right on in. And something that I want to talk about first, and I feel like this gets a lot of judgment within our community,
What?
is like the stud on stud.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely gets judged.
Yes.
A lot. And I don't understand it because
You know.
we
Because
love
it's
to
the
say,
image of monogamous heterosexual relationship. A feminine person should be with a masculine
and that's
person.
what it is. But I don't understand it because we say, you know, when you get behind closed doors, we're all women. And a lot of y'all studs got some badass shape. Let me tell you. Baby, y'all take them clothes off, I'll be like, ew.
Oh my God.
Wop. But no, there are a lot of double standards because when you see two films together, it's like, okay.
But that's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, that's also what you see in the movies a lot. It's very rare that you see. I mean, if you watch some of like the lesbian like YouTube series or something, you may see stud on stud. But I don't know. Why do y'all think that is?
I just think that it's just not accepted, you know? I don't know why it is that way, but I mean, I think it's because you look so masculine, two masculine people together. It's like, we're not used to seeing it, you know, even with, like you said, male and female. You're used to somebody being
the more dominant person, and people like negate like being dominant with masculine. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
I do think that it's more accepted. I mean, I'm not trying to bring race into it, but I do think like in the white community,
It definitely is. And
I
you see it a
it's
lot
way
more.
more because you see
Yeah.
it a lot
I
more.
agree. Yeah, that's true. It's just a stereotype that we put on people. Two masculine people should be together, which y'all already stated. And is the real question, how do we break away from that stereotype? You know, like I know a lot of people don't want things thrown in their face, quote unquote, but that's the only way people become acceptive to things like that.
Yeah, I mean, and I will say it is kind of hard because I'm not gonna lie. Like now, I think I'm more comfortable seeing it. Well, I don't want to say comfortable because that just sounds so bad. I'm sorry.
Sounds judgmental.
Yes, it does. I'm just saying now I'm more used to seeing it. So it's like, but I'll even say, you know, like Eric, it took me a minute to get used to seeing two men. Like when I actually accepted my own sexuality and I started going to the gay clubs, baby, y'all was out.
Especially AUS.
And I was up there. I was going out in Jackson, Mississippi. So, honey, y'all was out. I was like, I remember just going to the first time I went to the gay club. We pulled up, and the gay guys were out in the parking lot, lined up like they were some J sets, and they marched into the fucking club. I was like, I want to come back. I was just like, but it did. And then once I started meeting different people and I, became friends, I had and that's to answer your question, Ashley. You have to sit down and have conversations, get to know people. You know what I'm saying? Like, really talk to them, see their point of view, and just have conversations sometimes that aren't that comfortable.
Yeah. And mind your business. That would help.
Yes, it would help.
Right.
So let's ask this question. Why isn't it the same judgment with film on film? Like, why is two feminine women so like, oh, even the straight community?
That's why
they love that shit.
Film on film, like, oh, that's
why.
I'm like,
that's why, because it was accepted in the heterosexual world initially. It's accepted.
Because you'll have a dude and be like, oh, if I can get two femmes together, oh, that's great. We can have a threesome. Oh, okay. Now let me ask you a question. Now, if your bitch be like, okay, let me get you and a stud together, how would you feel about that? She's still a woman. Exactly. She's still a woman. So what you gonna do?
They're gonna feel threatened.
They're gonna say no. That's what they're gonna say.
It's funny because I feel the same way when I see two feminine dudes together. I'm like, that don't look great.
Really?
I do, but when it turns around and I look, most of the guys that I've dated have been like me. Bald, thick, masculine. I'm like, why do I have such a double standard for those feminine dudes, but all of my friends are the same way? They all like masculine guys. So I always think about that. I'm like, what's the difference? Why do I look at them like they crazy when I'm basically doing the same thing?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess it starts with the man in the mirror. we got to take a step back and look at ourselves and ask ourselves these questions.
And it also comes in like basically how you were raised. Like, this is what they teach you, the normal thing of like feminine and masculine or dominant, submissive. Like, all this stuff instilled in you when you are a child.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you grow up, you like, oh, you can do this, you can do that. It's different.
And a lot of that does stem from birth, because even with the colors, pink and blue, it's supposed to, blue represents.
Exactly. Blue is my favorite color.
Yeah.
I think, speaking of blue being your favorite color, I mean, so with studs, we know there's an issue with stud on stud. What about the judgment that studs have when they are feminine? The studs to go get their nails done, studs to go get waxes, the studs to get their makeup done, get their wig slayed.
I think
like,
it's sexy.
Me too. I like it.
But would you call them, if you saw a girl like that, would you call her a stud?
Yes.
Or would you re-identify her as a STEM or?
I'll probably say STEM.
Yeah, I would say that.
Well,
I do say that.
We can go back to the previous episode of episode 2 of Let's Talk About Sex. I stated I get a wax. I'm more of the masculine presenting, but I don't consider myself a stud.
Yeah.
And for you guys to be the feminine women, as you would call yourselves,
I don't get no wax.
y'all don't get wax.
Sure don't.
So like it's just I mean, but like that, but it's a thing.
Yeah.
So how do women feel that you date once they find out? Do they turn their nose up? Are they like, what?
They enjoy it. We don't have no problem. We will schedule our appointment on the same day.
That's okay.
What about, so do you experience the same thing in the gay male community, a masculine male that chooses to be more feminine, like a particular day?
Yeah, I have a friend, I won't say a friend, somebody that I know. They like to be bearded and have a nice fade. On the weekends, they got nails and makeup on. Like a face be beat, I'm like,
With the beard?
And the beard, and I'm like, for me, I'm like, that's I don't want to say that's weird, but it's different. And I have a hard time like looking at them like that don't make sense to me. But everybody got their own thing that they like.
Yeah.
But from the outside looking in, for me it's kind of difficult to see that.
Yeah.
So do you think there's a difference, because I don't want to put your age out there. I don't know how old you are, but do you think you seem more mature? Do you think it's a difference in the newer generation as opposed to the older generation?
I think so. I think it's different because in people my age and up, I'm 40. People my age range and up, I think they go one way or the other. It's nothing in the middle. You know. So if you see a guy my age bracket, they're gonna have long hair, maybe makeup. They won't be in the middle, like straddling the field of masculine and feminine. I think they're going to be one or the other.
Okay.
I think the new generation likes to be in the middle to keep people guessing. It's like a shock value, shock factor, just to keep throwing people off.
Versatility is cool. Yeah, I mean, it's cool.
I even see it in the lesbian community.
Yeah, I feel like the newer generation is more so like, I'm not going to limit myself.
Right.
Put
I don't
themselves in
think
a
it's
box.
more so as like, I'm in the middle. I feel like they don't want to limit themselves to the choices that they have.
Because I definitely see a lot more like and that's why I think the label thing is so hard because everybody I'm like, I don't know. And now I find myself like when I meet people, I'm so conscious of what I'm saying to you, how I'm addressing you. I find myself like, so how do you like to be addressed? Like I'm nervous because I don't want to offend anybody for my ignorance or anything.
Yeah.
So, but I will agree with you, Nikki, that I do think this generation is definitely like
they're open. They're wide open.
They like Master P, no limit. That's my old school answer.
Right. How old are you?
So let me ask this question though. So Ashley and Nikki, I know y'all are not into the labels, but would you all date someone that is similar to yourself?
I wouldn't.
Why?
Because that's not what I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to femininity. And, that feminine side of a woman is that's what I'm attracted to. Okay. So I don't look at people like me, oh, we can hang out. Like, look, what's up? Like, you want to get some drinks? Cool. Right. But other than that, that's not me.
Yeah, my answer is basically exactly the same as Nikki. Like, my attraction to a woman starts, when you first see a person, she got on a tight dress. I can see her, her figure, whatever. Like, that attracts me. Like, even if I'm with the person that I'm dating, like, I look at her and I be like, oh, she look good. You dress like me in jogging pants. I don't know if I'm gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I will. I'm looking at that ass.
that
the ankle tight butt on the bottom.
That's part too. Like, I've seen my girlfriend in my shirts. I find it sexy. I'm like, oh, okay. But I feel like I find it sexy because I've seen her, in her feminine clothes.
Yes.
So I don't know.
But if you think more maturely, right, Alex, like you said, at the end of the day, when y'all take our clothes off, we in the bedroom, we are women. And I mean, there are studs out there, they are women. In the bedroom, they show that feminine aspect of themselves, and you wouldn't know they're a stud.
Yeah.
But it's for me, and I'm sure for Nikki, it starts at that initial attraction.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that because I remember going to. Matter of fact, we went somewhere together a long time ago.
Not that club, right?
Not that club.
Okay.
Tequilas.
What club?
Oh, okay.
A long time ago.
Okay.
And I was walking there and I saw this dude. I thought it was a dude by my height. I'm like, damn. So I go up. It was a stud. I had to rethink my life for a second. Because I was like, oh, it's not a he.
But you were attracted.
Right, I was. And for a split second, like, oh, he cute. Wait, man, he got titties and ass. I don't miss something here. But,
am I?
Right. I didn't go home and think about it.
Hey, but there are some gay men out there that has an attraction and that actually date studs.
Let me tell you, I got a crush on a couple of gay guys. Because I Am Zoe, baby, I love him from Instagram. I think he is just so sexy and cute.
I can't think of who he is.
He's on Wild Now.
Dancing on Friday.
Yeah, when he be doing the pole dance, he got that little ass,
Oh, yes.
I I got a crush on him. Yes. So, do you think? So, what defines a stud? Like, what like their dress style? I always wonder that. Like,
What about you? When you say, what defines a stud for you, Eric?
I guess kind of like we said earlier, if I see a girl who's a little bit more masculine,
Yeah.
dresses more on the manly side, that's a stud to me. You know, that's what I think. I mean, they may do the pedicures, manicures, get waxed and everything, but in my head, when I see them on the outside,
Right.
you know, that's a stud.
Exactly. I feel like even when you dealing with like stems or no labels, as Ashley and I, like when you see us on the outside, you be like, oh, that's a stud. But then when you get to know us, you're like, oh no, baby, that is not.
and I was just gonna say that because majority of my friends, like if I describe y'all, I'm just like stud. But once you see them or whatever, but like some of my friends, like one of them got a low fade, but when you meet her and she be talking, she be like, girl, bitch, no, you know what I'm saying? Right. But if you see her pictures and she tatted up, you would think that she hard as hell. I'm like,
yeah, because I'm all about, like, look, I need to go get my hair done. I need to go get my toes done. Now, I don't focus on the nails too much because I just go for the low cut and manicure, buff them out, no polish, I'm straight. But, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. I don't do all the, look, don't put no fake nails on my shit. I don't like that. No, that's not me.
But I think there's a big stereotype on what a stud is supposed to be, right? I personally experienced that. What they're supposed to wear, because I've had a girl ask me, why don't you sag? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? This is what studs do. And I'm like, that's not me. And people ask like, well, why you dress like that? You want to be a man? But it's like, my mama been fighting me since I was a little something. Right. I was a little kid, and she wanted me to wear this dress she just sewed together. And I'm like, no, I want to wear them pants and them shorts in there. And it was, but I wasn't gay at that time. It was just
what you feel more
that you know deep down.
I didn't know at the time, but that what was comfortable for me because I just wanted to go outside, play basketball in school, play basketball. That's what I wanted to wear.
I mean, I get it because when I was in church as a young with my family, look. I quit the usher boy because they tried to make me wear
I used to wear shorts. I used to wear shorts under my dress.
They tried to make me wear that ugly white dress. Usher boy, I'm like, yo, I'm cool with my white shirt and my black pants.
Parents, listen to this.
They was like, yo, you're older now, so you need to wear the usher dress.
Because I'm trying to picture them with some usher boy. Oh
my God. Girl, I'm sitting up playing the drums in a dress. Behold, did my mama know I had on basketball shorts under that dress. You ain't about to play me.
Like that's the thing. And like it was a tradition in my family. Like my grandmother was the head of the ushers. My dad was next in line. So I was on the tradition. I was on the trajectory to be, you know,
a usher.
Top usher.
Top flight usher of the world cred.
But when they was like, okay, you need to wear this dress, baby, the next Sunday, I was sitting next to my mama. My mom was like, I said, nah, you know,
family tradition.
Look, you know, I ain't wearing that. And she was like, okay.
And that was it.
That was it.
I'm so disappointed.
At least she didn't fight you on it. Because my mom would have made me.
Right.
My dad didn't play that.
But you know what I will say, I like now the transition with like how studs dress like more dapper. If you know what I mean, like the swag is there, the more fitted clothes and stuff like that.
You can see our hips and our pants.
Yes, you know, you already know. But something that I've noticed is that whenever they present these, like when I look at a lot of the clothing lines and they present it, it's more like white.
Yes.
You know, and I just feel like
it's hard to
the
buy
black
clothes.
women, they've been doing this. They've been doing that. But then when you are marketing and start coming out with the clothing lines, you still go back because black women still have the curves, you know, and stuff. And they still go with the more slim, a certain look. And I'm just like, that's not, you know what I'm saying? Like,
And
if y'all want to find something,
people
y'all need
like
something
us
to fit y'all
out.
first.
Yeah,
Right.
I purposely went to look for a LBGT clothing company with jeans, right? And I go on there and I'm looking at their size and I'm looking at their model and I'm like, I can't wear that. Like, I got hips and booty. I can't fit into the same
from
size.
the South. Let's put that out there as a one
Listen,
thing.
them greens and cornbread and black eyed peas are sitting tight.
It can look different in the South, you know?
So I can't even, you know what I'm saying, be a customer to this LBGT company because I can't wear their clothes.
Hell, you can't
so-
even get a shirt because your titty's too big to get a shirt.
You better button it up.
Your buddy's sitting at home, so
Like, baby,
hold on.
look, my boobs can't fit in there. I don't know what you want me to do.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it ain't for black studs unless they built like, you know, our counterparts.
Yeah. And even with that, like, going back to like Judgment, I don't know if you all have experienced this, but you know, in past relationships, I felt bad or have had to go off on people in public because when you go out, because people see you all like dressed a certain way, they assume something, and like just going to a public restroom. I've seen women literally leave out the bathroom because my girlfriend comes in, or one girl I dated, it just got to the point she would let me go in. She would literally stand outside until everybody came out because she didn't want the stares. Or people grabbing their kids close as if like she's a pedophile or something like that. I'm just like, that is sickening.
But it's happened so freaking often. Like, I've had people, sir, like, you, like,
And
sir.
I hate that.
I mean,
Like, bruh,
you
see these
call me
boobs?
sir.
You see this ass?
I be so
Don't be
confused,
looking at
like,
me like that.
sir. But it is that uncomfortableness when you go in the, and I hate using public restrooms. Even to this day, if we was to leave here now and we was to go to a public restroom, in my heart, I feel hesitant because I know as soon as I open the door and walk in, everybody that's in the vicinity gonna stop and stare at me to verify in their head if I'm a male or if I'm a female.
Yep.
And that's why I wholeheartedly support the idea of same-sex bathrooms. I do just for the comfort of being able for me to go use the bathroom, especially if it's one stall.
Just go to
But-
the family restroom.
Yeah.
Look, just be like, I'm gonna just go to the family restroom.
It's just
Y'all just
uncomfortable.
going to wait.
It's uncomfortable. So, but yeah.
That's very. It's. I hate that it's like that. You know, but let's move on. We could talk about that for
Forever.
So let's get to another little interesting subject.
Ashley
A
dance.
little,
Right.
because I know this one about to be good. Y'all.
Look,
I know
it
this
must
one
be
about
the
to be.
drinks. Right.
Well, y'all know. First of all, y'all know everything she make is strong. They asked for 2 ounces that she gonna pull 4, maybe 6. So
Double it up.
You probably didn't put the water in there.
She probably put 6 ounces
So,
of water.
now that you mention it,
Eric's like, I'm feeling a little good.
Okay, but for real. So, how do y'all, or what has been y'all experience on dating bisexual individuals?
I have not dated a bisexual person. Yeah, no, I haven't. I
Okay.
think about it for a second.
Would you?
That is not my preference.
Why?
Because for me, I just want to know that you're looking for a female. Period.
Okay.
Because I'll be nervous when you're looking too hard at the man package. Like, what you doing?
He got on great jogging pants, girl.
Like, what you doing, girl? What you doing? Come here, sit by me. Sit closer.
What about you, Eric? Would you date a bisexual male?
no, I don't think so. Because in the back of my head, at one point, I'm not gonna be able to give him what he needs, and I'm always gonna think, okay, he's gonna need to go outside the
Backwards,
relationship
yeah.
to get something else. So I don't think I could do it. I have friends who are bi, and they tell me about the struggles they have trying to date, and it's already bad enough as a gay person anyway. So
Yeah.
being bi,
Gay
as
black
a
person.
whole,
Let's put that out there.
yeah, as a gay black person, it's already tough enough. So add bi as a whole other level to it, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. I just feel like I will never be able to provide what a male would provide for them. So you're lacking something if I'm in a bisexual, if you are attracted to a male in that way, then I'm lacking that quality.
Yes.
And I'm never going to be able to give you that.
So, but what about the people that are bisexual? You know, they're listening right now, and in their mind, they're like, but when I'm with one person, I'm with that. If I'm with you as a woman, I'm with you. I'm not looking for a man. I'm not looking, you know, I'm not. I may see a man and say, oh, he handsome, but I don't want him because I'm with you.
It's just tough.
I mean, for me, I've never been in a relationship with a bisexual. I have, I guess, been in the talking stage.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it was cool, but the thing that I was questioning with her was, for 10 years straight, she dated nothing but women. You know. However, she still labeled, like, she would always say, I'm bisexual. So my question to her was, well, what makes you say that? And she could never give me an answer. And she also had an ex-husband that, you know, you know what I'm saying?
That's another level.
But of course, you know, they had 2 older children, you know, like young kids. So they still had to deal with each other. So in my mind, I don't think I was willing to accept her with saying she was bisexual. My issue was, all you've ever dated, all you be around, this is what you tell me, and what I see is you with women. Mm-hmm. However, you're still labeling yourself bisexual. So I'm wondering, is there still some feelings or something there for the ex-husband? Is it something, you know, that was my question.
That make me question it too. Like,
you see what I'm saying? Like,
if you only dated women that I've known
for
like
10
so
years
why
straight.
So what makes you think like a dude is going, like, what is it?
Yeah.
I would ask that question.
But then I've also, Eric, what were you about to say?
That's a good question. I have a friend of mine who, since I've known him, has always said he was bi. Always said he was bi, but he never talks about women. He always talks about men. Mm-hmm. If you see a man, oh, he's cute. He never talks about women, but still said he's bi. So it makes me wonder: are you just saying you're bi because you're not ready to say you're gay, and you think bi is enough to where you can kind of play both fields if you need to? Yeah. Because I mean, he's gay. Because Brittany come on, he dancing. You know? So I know he's gay, but he still say right. You know all the dance moves, but he still say he's bi. So I always wonder about that.
I've asked my own self, but I'm like, no, I'm a lesbian. But I will say, since I have dated women, I've been dating women since I'm 39. I've been dating women since I was what, 20.
You say 2.
We don't count the hunching back in the day.
Right. I can't believe you just told your age on the podcast. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I always tell people my age. I don't care. That don't bother me. But I did, because like when I have been single, I found myself like, is this really what I want to? Is this really what I'm doing? Is it a phase, like some people have said to me? And I'll try to go back to men, but it will be sexually, but I'm always. No offense, Eric. I'm just not satisfied. And so I'm like, I used to ask myself, was I bisexual? And I'm like, nah, because when I see myself settling down, it's with a woman. When I'm lonely and want some company, when I want to chill with somebody, I want to be hugged up, laid up with a woman. So I'm like, no, I'm not. But I mean, the thing is, if I'm going to date somebody that tells me they're bisexual, we're just gonna have a lot of conversation.
It's a lot of trust to be built.
Yeah.
Because with me, I've in the past I've dated a bisexual person and they cheated with a male. Mm-hmm. You know, so now I feel like I don't want that experience again. Like I don't because she told me the same things that a lot of current bisexual people say. Like, when I'm with this sex, I'm with that sex. I don't want the other sex. Yeah. But that person told me that same thing, and they did. You know, they cheated. So
I don't believe that, because if you're gonna be with this person and you're gonna be in a relationship and you want to get married, you tell me for the rest of your life you cannot go back to the other sex. You're strictly with me for the rest of your life, whatever. I don't believe that.
So at that point, if you marry, like if you date a bisexual guy and he marry you, it's Can he still identify as bisexual?
No, we're married. You're
We're married.
Or is it solely about the attraction?
Right. You
At
know,
that point, you get
Right.
it.
married.
There ain't no bisexual.
right. You done got married to that.
It's over because it ain't no turning back.
Right.
We married.
But is it about the opportunity that, hey, I can date both, or is it about the attraction? Right? The opportunity is, I don't have the opportunity to date both because I'm married now, but I still have an attraction to the opposite sex, and that makes me bisexual. Like, what makes a person bisexual, I guess, is the ultimate question.
No.
That is a
That's a good
question.
question.
We should have brought somebody on before. Because I don't think none of us really know.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm bisexual. I say it a lot.
You do say that, and I be like, nigga, what?
I haven't been with a
She ain't
man
dated a
in like
man since
13 years.
1995. 1995.
Right.
I'll give it 2,000.
2006.
2000.
Somewhere around
99 to
there.
the 2000.
But I don't know. I think it's more like what you said in regards to attraction versus it being the other way.
Yeah.
So with that being said, if anyone out there, if you do label yourself as being bisexual, please hit us up. We would love to have you on, love to speak with you. Cause like clearly, you know, we don't have all of the answers, and we definitely, like, everyone, please understand, we do not want to offend anybody. We're speaking on our opinions, but we are not passing judgment on anyone.
And we want to hear from you. Like,
Yes.
hit us up. We could bring you on if you in Dallas.
Yes.
And if you're not in Dallas, just send us your questions and we'll ask them.
or your experience, and we'll read it off, whatever you guys want us to do.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on.
Yeah.
Y'all got kind of quiet.
Right, you know,
I think we got kind of quiet because we just want to make sure we're not offending anyone.
we all thinking about it now.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next the deep topic.
Deep topic.
Trans men and women.
Yeah.
And this has been pretty heavy here lately.
Well, let's start here. When was the first time y'all saw a trans person? Because for me, it was in college. Because in my hometown in Mississippi, it was small. It wasn't really gay people around. So I didn't have any knowledge of the LGBT community. But then when I went to college, I basically saw, like, my first, me and Mary went up to, all of us went to the same college at USM. We drove up to Jackson one night. I don't remember the name of the club. And it was a guy.
Metro or
Look,
City Lights?
Metro City Lights. Hold on, wait. No, they used to have one called Mississippi City. That was my spot. I used to like that one.
I never went to that.
Look, I went to that one. It was lit.
For you new age.
But so we went up there, we drove up there, and we went to this club, and it was this trans guy that had on this, like, bikini. I don't know what he had on. He had boobs, but he still had a penis. And I was like, what in the world is going on? And he was dancing to Dream song. Okay, I don't know, but still.
I'm gonna say, you didn't even put it out there. We can't
Change your mind.
But that was my first time ever. Mind you, I probably was like 19, 20 at the time. And that was my first time ever seeing a trans person.
My first time ever seeing a trans person, I was in like 7th, maybe 8th grade. I went to one of my cousin's wedding in Florida. And at the time, I didn't even know what trans or anything was. But I overheard my father talking to my uncles. Because one of my uncles was like, just talking to this woman. I thought it was a woman. And, you know, he was like, yeah, it's going to mess your uncle up. I don't want to say his name on the podcast. But he was like, oh, your uncle needs to sit down because that's a man. And I didn't know. Like, he had on she had on like a bikini. Looked great. But my father was like, check the cheekbones and the Adam's apple.
Oh, wow.
That is a man. I didn't know. At 7th grade, I didn't know. I'm just, you know, I'm just out here living my life. We all at the pool, at the hotel, kicking it because our cousin's getting married tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm chilling.
Okay.
But you know, the conversation, girl, man, you know, kids eavesdropping.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
So, and when I got older, I realized like, oh snap, that was my cousin's friend, and I'm like, oh, that was really a man. Like I didn't even catch it until like years later that that's who that was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first time being introduced to him.
I had a situation when I was working for a car dealership a couple years ago, and my job was to go down and talk with the customers to deliver all the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat down with this lady, and we're getting ready to sign paperwork, and I said, oh, I need to get your driver's license. She got real uncomfortable. I was like, that's weird. What's going on? So she gave me the driver's license. She says, before you say anything, my name is Richard. And it threw me off because on her driver's license it was a man, but she had already gone through the transition, and I just haven't got anything changed yet.
Okay.
But you could tell that she was so uncomfortable because she didn't know how I was going to react when I realized that she was trans.
Yeah.
So she almost shut down and was almost crying because she didn't know how I was going to react.
Wow.
So I was like, look,
Pretty sure they do
like
that
we
a
family.
lot.
you know,
You
relax.
gotta let her know,
I had to let her
baby, you
know.
safe in this
Right,
state.
you know?
Right.
And she was relieved, but she was really uncomfortable when she had to give me her driver's license
Right.
to let me know.
I
the
can
deal.
imagine
Yeah.
how much they
Often,
deal with
yeah.
on
Yeah.
a regular basis.
Like she was shaking, giving it to me.
Oh
And
my
it
Yeah, I know.
made me feel bad.
Recently in LA, I believe, if I'm not, I could be wrong. 3 trans women were robbed and beaten to death. Well, not beaten to death, but they were beat up. They were injured. And the sad part is, you know, in this day and age, instead of people helping,
They
Recording.
pulled out their
they're
phone.
recording. But what? Not only were they just recording, but they were showing no sympathy or anything. You could hear people laughing, and the reason that you knew they were trans because someone, I don't know if someone just knew those group. It was 3 women, and another woman is in. You could hear a woman in the background saying those are men. And so I guess that made the robbers or whatever. I think now they're the city is looking for them or because it was recorded. And it's just sad, and that's what makes me worry sometimes.
Yeah.
Even though I back in Mississippi, I knew more people that were transitioning.
Yeah.
And I think about them, and I do worry because some people are so insecure. Because I just don't understand for the life of me, like, what makes you just want to? Are you that insecure with your masculinity that you
just
have
wanna
to
beat them up? Why do you want to even do that? I don't understand that.
You know, they weren't. It wasn't like they were trying to come on to the men. They weren't trying, not making that an excuse at all. But it's like, why would you do that?
Threatened.
And even worse, straight women standing by recording and laughing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's just really sad. I just feel like, and then it was all black people. So and that just ties into like with when Black Lives Matter. Like, is it all Black lives or is it straight Black lives? You know.
Right.
And so I feel like, I mean, I don't know what else we could do to help protect them or even ourselves. Because I know sometimes, like Roxy, when me and you have gone out, you know, if men approach us, we will not state that we are lesbians, you know, because you never know how they're going to react. Because
I have had people react negatively. I have had guys to be like, you know, that's just a phase. You just haven't had the right dick and this and that. I'm just like, move around.
Just
move around. Just accept rejection and just move around to the next victim of yours.
Why you gotta call them victims?
Because they trash. Guys that think like that, they just not open-minded people.
But speaking of like trans men and women, so here lately, you know that it's been a big thing with the pronouns. I am not familiar with all of the pronouns. Does anybody have?
I think that I just have to go and I have to just ask, like you said, what do you like to be identified as when you are dealing with somebody who may want to be identified with a different pronoun?
Yeah. Eric, do
I
you
don't
know
know.
anybody that they identify with like certain pronouns and things like that?
I'm trying to think, and I really.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm not that familiar with it. So I guess that's something else, you know, anyone out there, if that is your preference, if you identify, by using pronouns, we love to hear from you, because it's nothing that we're all familiar with. And I'm not in touch. I mean, I'm not, I don't know anyone on a daily. I'm not in
constant contact
with someone on a daily basis like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but something else, that I don't think. Now, Eric, you can help us out. Like, how is the conversation, or what is it like, with amongst gay men? But something that I would say, like HIV and AIDS and STDs in the lesbian community, I don't hear a lot of us talking about that. Like, it's, like we don't discuss it. I mean,
well, we know the areas that are hot spots.
We do.
Atlanta.
You don't?
No, let me know. Look, tell me.
Who doesn't know the hot spots now? Come on, man. Mississippi is too, though. Atlanta, Mississippi, places like that. But I don't think we talk about it a lot. But I do think that we do ask for some testing.
Yeah,
at some point.
Does everybody ask for testing before they have sex?
I won't say that.
That's how I'm be honest.
No, for us lesbian, that's not something normal, and that's just the reality.
So when you ask for testing, do you actually wait? Like, okay, let's go get tested, or are you just asking, okay, what's your status? I mean, how do y'all proceed?
I need to see the results because I have my results.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got tested in January, and then I got tested again in November.
Mm-hmm.
So my recent partner was like, she never asked to see it, but even if she asked to see it, I would have been like, okay, here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just make sure I'm current.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Well,
all
I mean, now I stay current as far as like going to the doctor. Like whenever I go, you have to ask for those tests, and I always get those included. But my sex life also ain't on and popping either. But I'm just like, I just wonder, like.
I think for most lesbian, it's really your yearly pap smear. That's what we look for. That's what we say. You know what I'm saying? That's what we mostly care about. And that's just within the lesbian community. I think within the gay community, it's a little more different.
Or y'all, I don't know if I can ask it this way, but how concerned are y'all with getting HIV from a partner?
I think it's way less concern for us because
I'm not.
It's just.
You're not at all?
I mean, this is the thing. A lot of the people that I date, I mean, we discuss like our past and how we are.
Right.
So by the time I get with them, I feel very comfortable. And I will say I am fortunate enough that I've never had, any issue, with any women. So I guess because of that, being honest with you, it doesn't cross my mind.
Right.
I feel like statistics show that though. Like passing it on from woman to woman is a little different than going from man to man.
Right.
So or woman to man. Mm-hmm. Like it's different.
I don't know, because I got some straight friends that should be.
The man.
I mean, it's tough for men because, I mean, you have to ask. You have to ask.
Really?
You have to know. It's a conversation that you have to have.
How does that conversation start? Like, when?
I mean,
Is it so normal that it's not awkward?
Honestly, at this point, in the beginning, when I first started, dating man or whatever, it was an awkward conversation to have. It's almost, you were scared to even ask it. Mm-hmm. But at this point, you have to ask to be sure. To be sure, I remember in the beginning being scared, just paranoid of everybody I came in contact with. If I touched you,
wow,
it took a lot of education to understand that I was being stupid and not being educated on what everything was and how everything worked. Mm-hmm. To realize, okay, there's precaution you can take. You can be safe. There's other ways that you can take care of yourself. It took some education to understand that. To this day, people still aren't comfortable with it. Mm-hmm. I have friends who are HIV positive, and other friends don't even want to be in the same area as them, and that thinking is not smart.
No.
You can't tear somebody down for that. Yeah, you can't tear somebody down for that. But I've seen that. And as for dating, I've dated people who are positive. I mean, you just have to know what you have to do to make sure that you're safe.
Right.
It's really about the education.
Yeah, it's education. It's all education. I mean, you have to know what you can do. I'm on prep. I take prep every day.
Mm-hmm. For people that don't know, maybe What is PrEP?
Yeah.
I can't think of the exact term of PrEP. I need to look that up. I'll get back to y'all on that. But anyway, PrEP is something that you take in order to reduce the risk of contracting HIV through sex.
Okay.
They have several different kinds of PrEP. I take Descovy. It's only made for men who are assigned men at birth. They have Truvada, which is another type of PrEP, but it's a little bit older. But Descovy is, like I said, made mainly for men who are assigned men at birth, and it protects your body in order to make sure that the HIV doesn't replicate in your body.
Okay.
You know, they keep you from getting
HIV from a partner who maybe has it.
right.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's good. I mean, I don't know. I just learned something.
Yeah.
I see the commercials all the time.
Is it so? Can I ask you a question? Is it covered through insurance? Is it something that insured males can afford?
it depends on what you do. There's a clinic on Cedar Springs called Nelson Thibodeau Clinic. If you go on there, they will test you. I think it was $50 per testing. I'm sorry, let me back up. Testing is free, but the medication, the medication is free, but monthly testing is $50. Actually, it's every 3 months, and they test you to make sure that you haven't contracted HIV. Because if you're on PrEP and somehow contracted, the PrEP can make your body immune to the medication if you contract HIV while taking PrEP.
Okay. Sounds like a lot. It sounds like, the necessary steps that a person, need to go through to make sure they remain safe
Yes.
out here while dating.
Okay, well, let's move into something a little bit lighter. Because, oh my goodness, this is a lot. So let's move into like the myths around everything.
Around being gay.
Around being gay or trans or whatever.
What's the first thing they say? Oh, you too pretty to be gay.
Oh.
Oh, I hear that
What
all
does
the
that
time.
mean? I'm like, all the ugly.
Like, I was like, I know a lot of ugly straight people. As opposed to saying. So,
You too ugly to be straight.
right. That's what I feel like I want to tell somebody sometimes.
Right.
But then again, I want you to stay over there, okay?
Right. That's crazy. Or uneducated. We get that.
Yeah, and I don't understand that, because to me, especially gay men, they be having some of the best jobs. They, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like I definitely don't understand that myth. I don't understand that at all.
I got so much debt to show for all that education I got.
What are some myths that you all have heard, like, or that you've heard personally, or just in general?
You're too, like, you got your shit together. Why are you, like, what does that mean? Why are you gay? Because you got your shit together. Like, I don't understand what that is.
I ain't never heard that.
You know what I've heard a lot is, were you molested?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard
Traumatic
that
experience.
Did
something
something happen to you when you was a
right.
kid?
Was your father not around? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot.
My parents have been married for going on 35, 36 years. And they're still together. Like, I grew up in a mother and father home. Like, I don't understand.
My response to that is, where your daddy at?
Right.
I mean, your daddy wasn't there, my daddy wasn't there. Yeah, here we are.
Right.
So, what you mean?
I also deal with it's just a phase.
Oh, I did hear that. And I believed that one at first.
I did too. Like, and I feel like I had people waiting on me to come out that phase.
I think some people still waiting on me to come out there.
I think my mom still thinks it's a phase too.
I think,
Right.
Yeah, I think
You
so.
know, like
My mom probably still thinks it's a phase. My father is just like, it's whatever.
Did you ever think it was a phase
It's
for you,
whatever.
Ashley, or did you, like, once you came into it, you just knew?
Now, once I came into it, I was confused. I was
Really?
confused because I didn't know, as I mentioned, where I grew up, I didn't know anything about being gay.
Yeah.
So when I was introduced to the being gay, the LBGT community, I still had in the back of my mind the religious background that my mom had, because my mom was a preacher. So that got instilled into my brain so much. You're going to hell. You're going to hell. You're going to hell.
And you
So I was
stayed in church,
confused.
right? You were always in church, right?
Yes, I was always
But
in
even
church 3 days a week.
that's frowned upon too. In the black community alone, just a woman being a preacher.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
it is.
it's always something.
It's always something,
It is
yeah.
always something.
I would say for me, it took me a couple of years to actually, like, once I started dating women to actually come into my sexuality, I was not forced or made to go to church. I went to church on my own just because of music. I was in choir. But there was a point where I stopped praying. I stopped singing in the choir. I stopped going to church because I just felt so guilty.
Right.
And with what everybody was saying, I just was like, I could not understand, like, well, Lord, if you made me, you know what I'm saying? Right. Well, why something is seriously wrong with me, and it's like I'm fighting with myself till I feel like I got to a point where, you know how they say you just hit rock bottom. The only place you got to go is up.
Right.
And it was like I felt like God brought me to a point to where, look, this is where you need me. And ever since then, I just never turned back. So I try not to have those conversations with people because I'm not trying to explain myself, justify myself, or my relationship with him. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, speaking on that, that was one of the myths I was going to say is like thinking that we don't believe in God. I mean, I know everybody has their own
belief system,
their higher power.
Yeah. But,
you know, that is one of the myths that I've heard. Also, you know, saying that, like, with us dating studs, it's like, well, if you're going to date a stud, why don't you just be with a man?
Because they don't have a vagina.
Right, like
number one. Mind your damn business.
Right.
Gosh, and you get that a lot from, well, I used to think you got that a lot from straight men, like in their perceptions of it, but straight women say that to you as well. You just be like, I guess. Or the biggest thing, what do y'all do? Mm-hmm. Like,
they always feel like we just scissor, bumping coochies, bumping cats.
Do y'all get questions like who's top, who's bottom? You get that a lot.
It's like who the man and who's the woman.
Okay,
that's what they say.
Yeah, more so like that, but not top and bottom though.
So, what are some more myths that you all have heard aside from the ones that we mentioned?
The whole same-sex people raise gay children.
Which never makes sense because all of us got straight parents and our ass is all gay. Exactly. So I'm just like, so what does that say?
And even statistics show that more heterosexual kids come out of same-sex marriages than hetero.
Yeah. So I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But are there any other myths that anybody's heard that maybe we haven't mentioned, or something that you thought was like off the wall that somebody said to you?
No, I mean, I hear a lot of myths when it comes to gay men, right? That they didn't have a male figure growing up, mm-hmm. or they experienced something traumatic in their life that made them. It's always a reason why a gay male turned out to be gay. Like they just don't like men. It's a reason why.
It's a reason. They were raised around too many women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is weird for me because my dad was there. He worked a lot, but he was there.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have anything happen to me traumatic. Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you always know you were gay, Eric?
Since I was like 7 or 8.
So you always knew.
Yeah, I remember being a kid. There was this boy in the school bus. And I had no idea why I was attracted to this boy, you know, and it kind of freaked me out at first. I was like, why do I feel like this for somebody else? Yeah. But yeah, like at 7 or 8, that's when I started to realize it. So.
Wow.
Did your family kind of notice it or see it?
Oh, my mom noticed it because she was. It's a whole other therapy session, but when she noticed it, she was really mean.
I was going to ask you, like, when they started noticing, did they, like, force more masculine things?
Yeah, my dad tried to force me to play more sports. If I did anything, right, you know, if I did anything feminine, you know, my mom was on my back. You know, I remember her telling me, you know, I can't wait for your voice to change because you sound like a faggot, you know, stuff like that she would tell me as a little boy.
She said that word?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah. And stuff like that, you know. So it was tough. It was tough, that childhood I had, you know, just knowing, okay, I'm this way, but she's gonna hate it. So what do I do?
Yeah. I always felt like it's always, I mean, this is my personal opinion, but I always feel like it's worse. Like gay males, gay black males, to be specific, they have it worse than any of us, right? Because y'all are expected to be this masculine, in charge male, and it's like, when you don't fit into the box that your parent and your families, your uncles and your cousin want you to be in, y'all go through so
Yeah,
much.
it's tough.
The holes that they put you in.
That's
They
just
put you
like
in a hole.
what we were talking about last night with the guy from P Valley.
Oh yeah, the actor,
And
the
with the actor,
C Murder, the rapper.
yes.
Yeah.
And we were saying like, and people are like, oh, he gay in real life. And then Ashley pulled up. We didn't even realize all the different movies that he's been in. Like he's really
Just
a
Mercy,
trained actor.
He's an actor.
And he's played several, like all of his roles have been different. So, but as a black man, because we were like, if a white guy does it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Sandler could probably walk up to a guy in a movie and kiss him and nobody would say anything.
Mm-hmm.
But
Women can too. Women can
too.
play gay roles. But if you look up this guy's profile that played that actor, he has, I don't know if she's his wife and a whole kid. Like, he obviously is a straight man. But
He's a
because he
trained
played that
actor.
role.
He's an actor.
But black men don't. Just like we were saying, there are certain things, like I feel like black women and gay black men experience a lot of the same hate, discrimination, and things like that. And I guess to bring this to a close, I guess what the main thing that we hope that you all get from this episode is it just makes you look at yourself a lot more in your decisions, your thought process. Because even for us, as we've said in some of the things, like I'm telling myself, maybe I need to reconsider or reevaluate my thought process in some things. So at the end of the day, I just feel like you have to look at yourself first, you know, and think about some of the things that you say or why you feel the way you feel. And then, you know, we all can come together and probably make it better, hopefully.
Open your mind.
Open your minds. Be more understanding. Get out. Talk to people.
Yeah.
Have conversations that you typically wouldn't have. You know, get to know somebody that you don't know anything about. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Does anybody else have anything to say in closing or anything?
I think that's about it. Let
I
people live
drink
their life.
Right.
How they
And
wanna
mind your business. I'm just saying.
Everything a damn song.
But overall, like we
drink to
said, right. If you all have, as usual, if you have any questions, any comments, please hit us up on our Instagram at Let's Have Cocktails. Our email, let's have cocktails@gmail.com. If you happen to follow any of our personal pages, you can hit us up there. But definitely, as we said, if there's anyone that labels or consider themselves bisexual, please hit us up. We would love to speak with you or get your questions or your input. And anything that we spoke about. And like we said, we did not mean any harm. We did not want to offend anyone. We were speaking our opinions, but we do accept what we do not know, our lack of knowledge in certain areas. So with that being said, as I've been doing the entire episode, I will drink to that.
Yeah.
And we'll see you all we'll talk to you all on the next episode. Have a good one.